If you're a daily drinker like I was, you know the feeling. You wake up and you promise yourself, not tonight. And you mean it. You have a productive day, you handle everything, you're sharp, you're capable, you're in control. And then 7 p.m. hits and suddenly you're pouring a drink wondering, how the hell did I get here again? For 10 years, I was pretty much a daily drinker, almost every single night. And the person making that decision at 7 p.m. felt like a completely different person than the one dealing with the consequences at 6 a.m. Let me tell you about the moment I discovered why. I was 26, living in Bogota, successful business owner, handling everything during the day. But every evening, just like clockwork, 7 p.m. would arrive. I'd be sitting on the couch looking out at the mountains and I'd hear that voice. Just one glass. You've earned it. And I'd think, where the hell did that come from? Because 8 hours earlier, I decided not to drink that evening. I'd made that promise to myself. I was clear about it. But by 7 p.m., that morning promise, it felt irrelevant. Like it belonged to a different person. So I did what every high-performing professional does. I tried to fix it. I started to read the books Alcohol Explained. They gave me information. They explained the neuroscience. They helped me to understand alcohol, but they didn't stop me from drinking. I looked at therapy, I looked at counseling, but I never found the right person. And I'd always hear things from them like, just don't drink. Have you tried more willpower? And I'd think to myself, if willpower worked, I wouldn't even be here talking about this. And I kept thinking, maybe it was my fault. Maybe I was just the wrong type of person. Maybe I was the problem. Until one day, I stopped looking at me as the problem and started looking at when the problem happened. I started to track my evenings differently, not whether I drank, but when I made the decision to drink. And after 60 days of tracking, I discovered something. I never decided to drink at 9 a.m. I never decided to drink at 2 p.m., never decided to drink at 4 p.m. I only decided to drink between 7 and 9 p.m. every single time. And more importantly, the version of me making that decision felt completely different from the version of me who regretted my drinking the next morning. And that's when I realized I wasn't dealing with a drinking problem, I was dealing with a brain state problem. What I was calling a lack of willpower was actually a predictable neurological shift that happens to every single daily drinker, something I now call the night brain. And here's what I discovered. You're not one brain making these decisions. You have two brains operating in shifts. You have the day brain and the night brain. The day brain is the version of you at 9 a.m., logical, strategic, goal-orientated, long-term thinking. This is the part of you that performs, that solves problems, that commits to not drinking. But somewhere between 6 p.m. and 10 p.m., that part of your brain switches off. Your cognitive resources drop, your willpower is depleted, your prefrontal cortex, the part that's actually making the long-term decisions, is essentially offline. And that's when the day brain switches off and the night brain takes over. The night brain isn't strategic. It's not thinking about tomorrow. It doesn't care about your health goals. It doesn't care about the promise you made to yourself at 9 a.m. It prioritizes one thing, and that's immediate relief. And for the daily drinker, alcohol is the fastest route to relief that the night brain knows. And this is why the same person who's disciplined all day makes decisions at night that just make no sense the next morning. It's not you, it's not your character, it's not a willpower problem, it's a brain state problem. And if you're a professional managing projects, teams, stakeholders, and by 7 p.m. you've made hundreds of decisions, your glucose is depleted, your cortisol is elevated. The night brain shift isn't laziness, it's your brain running out of resources it needs for strategic thinking. So it switches to survival mode and it asks itself, what gives me the fastest relief? And this is why people who look the most in control during the day often struggle the most at night. High performers burn more cognitive energy than the average person, which means they enter the night brain state earlier and with less decision power left. It's not weak character, it's depleted resources. So here's how you know the night brain is ruining your evenings. You've finished work, you've handled meetings, decisions, complexity all day, you've been on for 10 hours. You drive home thinking, not tonight, I'm not drinking. Then you walk through the door, you're mentally exhausted, and you pour yourself a glass of water. You sit on the couch, and within 20 minutes, you're thinking, well, maybe just the one. I've had a really long day. You don't even remember deciding. You just find yourself opening that bottle of beer. Or maybe you're a daily drinker who's trying to moderate and you say just 2 glasses tonight. By 8:30, you're on your third. And that line keeps moving. And you think, why can't I stick to this? But it's not about sticking to it. It's about when you're making the decision. Because the night brain doesn't negotiate. It doesn't moderate. It prioritizes relief. And alcohol delivers relief faster than anything else. And here's what most daily drinkers don't realize. Every time your night brain makes the decision, you're not just repeating a behavioral pattern, you're adding to accumulated physical damage. Your liver processes the same toxins night after night. Your sleep architecture collapses. Your cardiovascular system never fully recovers. And your cognitive baseline drops, especially if you're in your 40s or 50s. This isn't just about the evenings anymore. It's about watching your health decline one night brain decision at a time. And the night brain doesn't care about your heart health. It doesn't care about your liver enzymes. It doesn't care about whether you want to be healthy at 60. It only cares about the relief right now. So here's what changed everything for me. You can't solve a night brain problem with night brain decisions. You have to move your decision out of the night brain window. The solution is simple. Instead of deciding at 7 p.m. whether your night brain is online, you decide at 9 a.m. that your day brain is clear. That single shift from evening negotiations to morning commitment changes everything. Because the brain making the decision is the brain that actually wants the goal, not the brain seeking relief from that day. Now, the books have taught you why alcohol is a problem. They give you information. Therapy perhaps has tried to heal the emotional drivers. They give you awareness. But neither of them taught you how to move your decision out of the night brain window. They don't account for the fact that you're literally operating with a different brain at night. And this is why daily drinkers who are high performing struggle. They don't lack information, they don't lack awareness, they don't lack willpower. You lack a system that accounts for the neurological reality of how your brain operates after 7 p.m. Now that you understand the night brain, you need to understand the loop that creates it. Because drinking at night isn't random. It follows a predictable 3-stage pattern that pulls you into drinking automatically. And I call this the 7 p.m. spiral. And once you see it, you'll understand exactly when to interrupt it before the night brain even takes over. So watch this video next and I'll show you the drop, the trigger and the relief chase and how to break the pattern at the moment that actually matters.